Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. This is not financial advice. I just took a bunch of oven mitts, baby, because it's about to get hot in the kitchen. Now, what I would like you to do is hit the like button for your boy as you roll in, and we got to have a talk. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to look and see what's going on with the charts. If you are interested in learning how to set your own charts up the way that you see mine, remember, I'm not giving you financial advice. However, I am here to do a few things. I'm here to show you that you could actually be a profitable trader, but you have to put in the time. You have to put in the education. You have to put in the dedication, right? It's not easy, but it can be done. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically start this from the top. And then if the market gives us a trade, then we will go into that trade. Remember, when I see a price I like, I strike. And if I don't, I pass on a play. So hit the like button if you appreciate me being here, keeping it real with you, and you appreciate that. Hey, we're going to start it from the top so that you can learn how to develop this kind of a skill for yourself. It'll happen over time. It won't happen overnight. So now what I want you to do as well is, hey, let me know where you're from in the chat, baby. Let me know where you're from. Hold up. Let me turn this down for a quick second. And I just want to just tell y'all this for, I'll get into it in a little bit. Let me put the sounds up so you can hear them. Hold up. Here we go. Let me know where you're from in the comments, baby. Let me know where you're from in the comments. So as you can see, I unflipped the camera, right? Remember I told you mad times, like a long time, that you couldn't read my shirt, but I always wear the, you know what I mean? I got to be ready for work. And you trade with the chart and not your heart. So you couldn't really see it because it was backwards, right? But I flipped the mirror. I did some background stuff, some camera magic, you know what I'm saying? South Carolina in the building. Ohio was in the building. I'm using Webull to trade. I use Webull to trade. Now, I do want to go on over and using Moomoo because they got that trailing stop loss, which in my opinion is way better of a stop loss. But I'm using Webull to trade. I put the Webull link here. If you want to get some free stocks and try to set your chart up like me, then and you ain't on Webull yet, go ahead and get on there. Now, we're going to trade with the chart, not our hearts. You already know what time it is. But let me know where you're from in the comments while we at it. And again, it feels good not to have the camera flip, right? This is actually me, right? This is actually me, how I look, and not mirrored. Usually you probably seen me for years mirrored. So, okay. New Orleans is in the building. Shout out to the Dominican Republic. Atlanta, I see you. My dogs. My dogs. Wellington, Florida in the building. Let's go. Let's go. Maryland is in the house. Delaware is in the house too. We see it. We love to see it. North Carolina is in the building. Hey, Port Arthur, Texas. Never heard of you, family, but I appreciate you for being in the building. I might have to touch down. Let's get it. Harlem in the building. LA in the building. Shout out to LA. Shout out to everybody from New York, San Antonio, Puerto Rico's in the house. We got the whole family out here. Canadians is in the building. So any fellow Canadians, let's get it. The Bronx. I see you, baby. I see you. I see you. He said, yo, let's go. Let's go. Is Robinhood have stock options? I think that's what you mean, family. A stop loss? Yeah, they do. They do. They have a stop loss. Pittsburgh, let's get it. Duval in the building. Florida, let's go, baby. I love it. I love to see it. So now, again, let me know where you're from in the comments. What I'm going to do right now before we get into anything else, because we want to be ready for when the market opens, is we got to understand this. The first, and again, if you're a new trader, I would encourage you to, don't be so in a rush to trade. I don't want you to be in a rush. I want you to learn because, again, you'll end up paying that tuition. Tuition is the cost you pay to learn. So now, let's get right back into it, right? So check this. We got to keep it real. We got to keep it raw, right? So we're going to start it from the very top as if you've never been here before because I want you to have the ground rules. So let's get right into the laws, right? So now let's look at this. Now, what is this? I like to keep track of my wins and my losses, right? As you can see, the last trade that we did was on was it the 2nd? Was it the 5th? I think it was the 2nd. It might have been the 5th. I forgot what day that was. But the last one was on Thursday. What's today? The 7th? Let me go and just double check what the date was on that. If you go to Keenan's Trades in the Discord, you'll be able to see. Yeah, that was on the 2nd, right? That was on the 2nd. And that was a Thursday? Yeah, my bugging family. Or that was a Thursday. Thursday was February 2nd. Yeah, Thursday, February 2nd. And $1,700. Again, you get what the market gives you. You get what you get. You don't get mad. It is what it is, right? So now, I win more than I lose. That's my goal. You will lose. It happens. So let's start it from the very top. And remember, some days you do not trade because the charts ain't giving you the clear signal. So you just say, yeah, nah, today just ain't the day. Today ain't the day that I'm going to be trading. So now, let's get to the laws. We get started from the very top. Because you got to have principles, or else you won't have any ground to stand on. You won't have any rules, and you end up blowing through your account and you're wondering what's going on. Why am I not making money? Why am I making money? You ask yourself, why am I making money sometimes and then I'm losing it all, right? And it's never really domino and growing. So you need principles to follow. These are the ones that I follow. I know in the back of my mind that 98% of traders are not profitable. I don't want to be among them, right? Now, by definition, they are losing. I don't want to be among the losing or the losers, right? Now, you will lose sometimes, though. It happens. You will lose sometimes. So since we know losing is a part of the game, just like if you play soccer, basketball, football, defense is a part of the game. In the stock market, I like to say, or even in the options market, it's like a contact sport, right? You're going to get hit sometimes. So you want to protect yourself, right? You want to be ready for that. So how do we get ready for that? We get ready for the losses that will come by making our losses small. Since we make our losses small, we want to use maybe 5 to 10% stop losses and trade with 5% of our portfolio max at one time. Meaning if you got $1,000 account, then that means you're looking at putting $50 into an option potentially, right? Because if you don't, then what you're going to end up doing is trading with, hold up, I got it. I'm mirrored, not mirrored anymore. You're going to end up trading with your heart. You're going to end up trading with your heart. You notice that when I made this, when we designed the shirt, I actually put the heart literally where your heart is. Like, you know how they have you pledge, put your hand on your heart, right? I actually got it where your heart is. So you trade with the chart, baby, and not with your heart. I got to wear the outfit to work, baby. That's how I'm talking about. So now this one stops us from destroying ourselves, and it helps us to grow long term. Now, it fits right into another thing that I showed you, which is this, the portfolio breakdown that I love. Your foundation, VTI, SCHD, many of these like great VOO, great kind of ETFs, if not an index fund. Notice how I have it color coded. It's green down here, deep in the green. And then individual stocks like the FANG stocks, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, Microsoft, Tesla. You pick among the big beast bangers. It could even be Home Depot. It could even be Lowe's. These are just examples, right? It could be Lowe's. It could be something like that. But those are individual companies. So we don't want even those as the majority of our portfolio. We would rather have a really, really strong ETF or something like VTI, for example, right? I'm not telling you to go and buy it, but I'm telling you this is the example to keep us deep in the green. So then when you notice as the market's going up and going down, your whole portfolio can't swing 50%, 30% in one day. It can't happen because ETFs and individual stocks combined is 80% of your portfolio. So then let's say you get into some swing trades, right? You get into some BBBYs, some other kind of swing trades like that, right? Or companies that aren't profitable. You can't make them more than 10% of your portfolio. Now, cash, depending on what kind of environment we're in, you want to have between 5 and 10. You might even go harder, right? Depending on your tax situation, it is what it is. But 5% of your portfolio and your buying power. So if you see a price you like, you can strike, right? If you appreciate the knowledge that I'm trying to drop, because I'm really trying to give you some fundamental knowledge right here that you could really use going forward, and it's practical. Put a headphone in the chat, family. Headphones in the chat. I see them coming in already. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all. And then options, which goes right in line with what I said before. For example, call options. 5% of your portfolio. That's why if this starts going left and your stop loss is going to kick you out, you're not going to lose the 5%. In this case, what's going to happen is you're going to have 5% of your portfolio, for example, in an option. Your stop loss will kick you out, and that'll be just 5% of what you put in. So you wouldn't even be losing the whole 5%. So it really protects you, right? So when you think about it, what you're really willing to lose is 5% of 5% of your portfolio, right? So it kind of compounds. So it's really actually a quite small amount. So then when you see it, how it works out mathematically, in my portfolio, some days I lost, 200? Another day I lost 50, just about 49. Another day I lost 38. But look at the wins. 1,700, 400, 260, 250. And these are all provable, right? I did all of these on a live stream. 700, 300, 600, right? 1,200. One day was 16,000. Some days, it's not every day, but you get crazy runs like that, but you just got to keep yourself in the game long enough. And if you are flipping a coin and trading like that every single day, what's going to happen is you're going to lose and then miss out on a day. So I want to give you an example. Let's imagine. So you see right here, Thursday, it was December 15th, $16,000. Boom, right? On options. Check this though. Imagine that I traded on this day where I got the 250. Boom, I made 250 and I took a crazy risk gamble. Just imagine that, right? Got lucky, won. Let's imagine that I'm still taking crazy risk. Boom, this day I lost. And then I'm totally out of the game because I blew up my whole account. And then this next day was going to happen, $3,400. It was going to happen, but I blew up my account the day before. No, you want to take small losses because you're going to lose sometimes. So you want your losses to be small to keep you in the game long enough for the big days. That's the goal. You be willing to take small wins. You got to be willing to take small losses because it's a part of the game. And then some days you don't even trade. And then I get on, right? Oh, I made 300. Oh, this is great. Oh, I made 1,000. Oh, this is great. Boom, 16,000. That's really, really, really great. How do these things happen? Because I'm willing to say, yo, 300 is a good day. Obviously, 16,000 is a great day, but I respect money. I don't sleep on the days where I could have made 300 because it wasn't 16,000. No, 300 is great. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a respect for money. You got to think about how much you make in an hour, like I always say, and then compare that to what you making in options and how long it took you to do it, right? So the last live stream, 1,700. Whoa, that's great. That's really, really great. So it took me an hour and a half to do this, family. Come on now. That's dang near, what, $800 an hour plus. That's great. That's great. So now, with that being said, what if I make $10 today? What if I make $10,000 today? The charts are going to give me what they give me. And then I'm going to be back tomorrow because I know I'm not going to blow up my account or lose because I'm following laws. So now let's get to it. This one was controversial a little bit, but I feel like some people didn't understand this. So I think I might want to make it more specific. Holding overnight is very risky, especially in a bear market. Does this mean that you shouldn't hold overnight? No, this does not mean that you shouldn't hold overnight. It just means that you know that it's risky and it opens you up to more risk. It opens you up to more risk. Now, more risk opens you up to more reward, but you can't forget the risk side of it. That's what people do, right? They forget the risk side of it. Like, imagine that you were going to get on a plane, right? You get on a plane and you standing right there at the gate. You ain't get on a plane yet, right? You ain't get on a plane. You about to walk in and you see the people, the flight attendants, you see the pilot when you about to walk right into the plane, right? That you literally, you walk through that hallway already and they tell you, hey, if you get on a plane, it's a high risk, high reward plane. On one end, we flying overnight, right? We flying overnight. You know, it's risky. It's the law. It's risky to hold overnight. Law number 4. They tell you, look, we flying overnight. It's better. It's less risk to fly in a day. But since you're flying overnight, understand this. We might crash. Or you're going to end up at the end of the rainbow where we all going to pick up all of this gold. Right? And you're like, yo, dang, I really do want to go pick up all of that gold at the end of the rainbow. But they saying that we might crash. They never told me this during the day, right? They don't tell me this is going to happen in the normal hours that we just going to, that's unlikely, right? So then you tell me, people forget about the crash part and they think, oh yeah, we're going to get the gold, right? You got to really, really think that you could hold overnight if you choose, but you understand that you have opened yourself up to more risk. The more risk is because your stop losses don't work. You just have to watch your options. You have no control over them. So then that opens you up to that risk. Now, in a bull market, I'd be way more likely to hold overnight. Now, last thing, the game ain't fair. TA works 70% of the time, meaning that you're going to see people who do technical analysis all the time. And y'all, come on, y'all know I get busy with the technicals. But I understand that it doesn't work all of the time because there are things like news and there are things like manipulation. So it works 7 out of 10 times, right? And then the other 30%, some crazy news can happen. Jerome Powell, you seen Jerome Powell get on the news and influence the market no matter what the technicals said. You seen companies like Meta, no matter what the technical said, right? You've seen what happens with them when news comes out and then boom, it's a rocket, or boom, it's the Titanic and it's going down. So now, with that being said, let's get over here to the charts and let's map this out. Before we even get to the charts, I got to ask you a few questions. So there are two indicators that we're going to use. Sometimes we use other indicators, but today we're going to stick to it so we can help people out and learn. There are two indicators. One of them is called the MACD, and the other one is called the RSI, right? We're looking at these to see strength or weakness in the market quickly because we want to get in and get up and get out, right? So now let's go over here and let's look. And also be careful with a lot of these YouTube people who telling you everything. They're making this money, they're making that money, they're making this money, but then they don't go and show you how they're doing it or how it's happening, right? I want you to really, really, really be careful of stuff like that. You got to watch out because it's like they kind of selling you a dream and not really showing you how it go and how it works. So, okay, let me just fix my screen if this thing will allow me to. And then we're going to put our lines on the chart. So if you want to learn how to put your lines, because we do 4 lines, right? We got 4 lines. One of them is called normal entry. One of them is called an early entry on a call. One of them is an early entry on a put. The other one is a normal entry on a put. And we're going to add those in, and they're color coded for you, right? So if you want to learn how to do this, then what you're going to do is right now, this is the time. So I'm on the 5-minute time frame. You can see it at the bottom of my screen, meaning that every one of these candles here is telling me what happened in 5 minutes. Go take the technical class or the technical analysis class so that you can understand how candles work. I'm not going to get into that right here, but we can see what the price is doing. So where we are going to start is with our blue line, or actually not even a blue line. Let's keep it more broad than that. If you are a new trader or a new investor, what I want you to do is, first of all, build out your foundation. Where my notepad at? Hold up. Build out your foundation of your portfolio, right? Like I just told you right here, go build that out. That's extremely important because you can't handle the heat if your foundation is weak. If you got this thing flipped upside down, and options is the most big in your position, and then you got swing trade super big on your thing. You got no ETFs, no individual banger stocks. Family, you're going to be getting smoked all of the time, and you're going to chase money. And what you're going to do in chasing money is end up giving it to everybody else who is actually trading with the charts. So now, let's get to it. RSI, this is this right here. You see how it's moving like a line. We could see just from looking at this that, and we're looking at SPY right now, which is 409, and we can see that it was really, really low. It even got over here under the 30. RSI under 30 is going to give us an oversold. It's too much selling too quickly. So look at that. A lot of selling, a lot of selling, a lot of selling. RSI got under 30. So then it's showing us some strength. It's trying to show us a little bit of strength. So then that's why you're starting to get it to pop up a little bit, right? It might not be able to maintain this strength, but it's telling you that this kind of selling can't go on forever. It has to cool off. So then that's it, cooling back off, getting back into a normal range. If it was up here in the 70s, that would be showing weakness, meaning that there's way too many buyers, way too fast. This is not going to last long. So then it'll come down short term or go up short term. So now our MACD, we got our orange line right here. This is our signal line. It's kind of smooth, right? And this blue line is our MACD line. Now, when the MACD curls up and it passes above this orange signal line, sometimes it reflects off and will keep going down, like touches the line and go down. That would be a sign of weakness. However, if it crosses above it, that would be a sign that the buyers are starting to add momentum. So if we had the RSI low and the MACD curling up like we're kind of seeing right now, then that would be a sign that, oh, the momentum is starting to push up. However, remember, these are indicators. Indicators, meaning they're giving you an indication. They're not telling you the future, but they're giving you insight as to what's going on. So understand this, even if the RSI is 29 or 28 where it is right now, and the MACD looks like it wants to cross up, if institutions or people, BlackRock, Vanguard, anybody who has billions of dollars, if not trillions of dollars, decides to say, yo, we just about to sell it off right here. They just hit a button, boom. Then guess what? It don't matter what the technical say at that point, because remember law 5, manipulation. Some people got a lot of money and they can make stuff happen the way that they need to. So, okay, we always got to be mindful of that. That's why these things are called indicators and not future tellers. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom out just a little bit, right? So on Webull, if you actually grab the numbers, right? You see these numbers over here? If I grab them and kind of scroll down on them, it'll kind of pinch my chart in a bit. So then I can see higher numbers and lower numbers, right? So that's what I'm trying to do. So I can see more of the chart. And then if I kind of scroll with my scroll wheel on my mouse, then it'll bring in more days, right? So right here, where you can see that it's like black all the way, this is today. This is the pre-market of today. This is the aftermarket of yesterday. This is the whole day of market open yesterday, right? So now I can see these levels. I can see different tops and I can see bottoms right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 lines. I'm going to add one at the very top, basically from yesterday. I'm just going to go and look at yesterday. I'm going to add a line at the very top. That line's going to be green. I'm going to make it thicker. And again, the reason I'm putting a time in like this to really like try to hammer these skills, because these are the skills that pay the bills, right? If you want to rush and get into any kind of trade, you're going to lose more often than you win. But if you take the time and be kind of surgical with it, then you're going to win more than you lose. Now, let's check this. We can see the bottom and we're getting very close to it here in the last basically 2 days. And we're going to make it red. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to say this. So I said that TA works, technical analysis works 70% of the time. How do you know when the technicals look like they were gonna work but then didn't work? You'll get what's called a false breakout or a false breakdown. So a false breakout and a false breakdown look kind of like this. Let's imagine that we're waiting for this thing to just straight blow past this green line. And then we get candles that go past it, right? We're starting to break out. We're waiting for confirmation. We're waiting for confirmation, meaning a candle that lives totally above the line. This often works because previous resistances become new supports. So it's likely to break above it and then live above it. However, sometimes it'll go above it, close, and then the institutions, many different people who have a lot of money in the game who see this, they go and sell, or something crazy happens in the news. Boom. And then it'll run right back in. So then you got a false breakout. You're looking for a breakout and then it comes right back into your original channel between the green and the red. Boom. What you have there is called a false breakout. And the same thing can happen toward the downside, which is a false breakdown. And then you get smoked, right? So these things happen. So what stops you and protects you? Your stop loss. And sometimes you're going to get stopped out too early, but sometimes you are going to get a great entry. Right? You're either gonna get stopped out early or you're gonna get a great entry. That's how it happens. Or third option, actually, now that I think of it, you're gonna be protected. You will be protected. So now let's go over here and we can see that we're starting to bounce off of this line a little bit, right? So we got our green line and our red line. So this one, I call it a normal entry for a call option. That's the name of this green line. This one down here is a normal entry for a put option. What does normal mean to us? So we don't have to guess, right? Because I don't want you to be guessing what I mean by normal. We write it in there. So it says a normal option, a normal call option means I got a 10% stop loss on it. I got a 10% stop loss on it. Boom. That's what I mean by normal. Remember, we're waiting for confirmation. I'll get to that later. Now, we're going to go to our green lines. Oh, we got our green lines. We're going to go to our blue lines. And we're going to find the gamble zone. The gamble zone is in between 2 blue lines. So let's go ahead and do that. This is for people who I would say are more advanced investors, people who are more advanced options traders. You want to be able to find the gamble zone so you can avoid it even if you are new. However, when it breaks out of the gamble zone, then you could potentially get in early. Getting in early means that you're going to have a 5% stop loss. Again, not financial advice, but this is the strategy that I use that has gotten me this or these results, right? 1, 2, 3. I've lost 3 times on a live ever. And it wasn't that much, right? It wasn't that much compared to all of the wins. right? So now this is what I'm doing and why I can get on here and show you it instead of just telling you about it later. So, okay, let's go and find the blue lines. And if we really was to sit down and add all of this up, family, I wouldn't be surprised. I actually, you could get a lot done with this kind of money here, right? You get a lot done. So, all right, let's just get back to it. Let's get our blue lines in the building. So we got to actually go in a little bit more surgical with it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, and I'm being extra specific. This is the SPY. You can see it up in the top right hand corner where you can see that it says SPY right here, and then the price. The current price is 409. So okay, I'm going to scroll up again. I'm trying to be extremely specific so that all of my new investors here, all of my people here, you know exactly how I'm doing this, right? So then when you say, Keen, how do you set up the lines? Or Keen, how do you I got you. This is what this is. Okay, so now for our blue lines, we're looking for our early entry on a call. If you are a newbie, you're a new investor, it's better to wait for normal entries. It's way better to wait for normal entries. And that doesn't guarantee a win. I'm not going to sell you a dream. I'm going to tell you the truth like it is. That's why we keep our stop loss on, to protect us. So when I hear people talking about they lost 30,000, they lost 40,000, how did you do that? Is that 5% of your portfolio? And then that's a 10% stop loss. You lost 10%. And then that was 20,000. How that work? You understand what I'm saying? What are you doing? So you gotta, when you get like that, you're gonna hurt yourself and then look for other people to blame. And I don't want that for you. So what I want you to do is really have a system. So now this is a system that is easily implemented, in my opinion, because I always tell you to trade with the chart and not with your heart. So now people who just watch the YouTube video and whatever, they don't really understand what I mean by trade with the chart and not with your heart. But this is literally what I mean by it. That it's talking to me. It's telling me something. When I'm looking at the words, I wrote words in there. So, okay, now let's look for our early entry on a call. We look for the current candle, this one that's moving. We look left, immediately left. And you say, where is the most recent peak on this candle? And where is it? It's basically right here. It's not a really, really good peak, but it is right here. It's showing us that our sellers are here. And this is the top. You got to consider the wicks. The wicks are the top of the candle and the bottom of the candle, the lines, right? This is it. So we got our blue line. This will be considered an early entry on a call. What does early entry on a call mean to me? It means I'm going to put a 5% stop loss on it. And when I have a 5% stop loss because I'm getting in early, I'm oftentimes going to get kicked out early, right? Sometimes it works out great, but since it's early, you get kicked out often, more often. So then if you wait for normal entries, you can still get kicked out up here. But again, it'll protect you from yourself. It'll protect you from your heart. So, okay, now let's check this. Let's go and let's put our early entry for a put out. So we look at the most recent candle. We look immediately to the left and say, where's the lowest point? Because this is where our buyers are. And if you get into a put, you want to blow through the buyers, right? And then boom, ride the wave down after the buyers got smoked. So, okay, I look at the most recent candle and then I see this right here. This is the bottom. So then I'm going to make it thicker using Weeble again. And I'm going to go grab my word because I told you I named these so that I could trade with the chart and not with my heart. Now the chart is going to tell me what to do when these things happen. So if I was trading by myself, perhaps I wouldn't need to move the words. But it's, again, I told you, I'm a certified teacher. As a teacher, visual aids are good, right? Having a strong visual aid, something to aid you in what you're looking at, it works out. It just works out well. So now we got 2 points. We have our top, which is our early entry on a call, which again, if you're a new investor, you can get in if you so choose to get in on an early entry on a call or early entry on a put. But you got to understand, if you don't know how to do a stop loss, learn how to do a stop loss. Also, hold up. I will never DM you on Discord. If you want to talk to me in the DMs, family, I don't do it on the Discord, right? I'm not going to DM you on Instagram. My real Instagram is in the description. My real Twitter is in the description of all of my videos. I will never DM you Be on the lookout for scammers. What they want to do is use your trust for me against us both. And let's not have that, right? I will not DM you. I don't have any scam websites I want you to put thousands of dollars on. I'm not doing nothing like that, right? So be on the lookout for that. Let's be absolutely clear. So now let's go over here and let's check this out. So now let's check this out too, right? Where are we? My people who've been rocking with us for a long time, we are in between two blue lines. We are in between an early entry on a call and an early entry on a put. What do we call this right here? I'll give you a second. I'm going to stop talking for a second. Yep, that's right. I'm seeing it. The gamble zone. We are in the gamble zone. The gamble zone is in between the early entry on a call and the early entry on a put. Excellent. So I see that you picking up what I'm putting down. So I'm going to bring this over here just so I can go grab it on a 5-minute. We are in the gamble zone. What does that mean? That means it could go either way. We are in a consolidation phase right here where the buyers and the sellers are so close to each other. Eventually, somebody's going to get exhausted. However, family, understand me on this. This one is the one that'll go up and then come back down and go up and come back down. And then oftentimes, what happens with new investors is they get into a trade in the gamble zone. Often, very often. So what happens is they're like, oh, man, I just won $10,000. And then you see them the next day and they lost $10,000 because they keep doing the same behaviors because they can't identify it. The charts are not speaking to them. The charts are speaking to us, right? Because we wrote it down and we can see where they are. So now I may have told you this in the past, but I don't know for sure. When I have you do this, or when I do this and then you go and you do this, what I'm having you really do is identify where the buyers are and where the sellers are. And as soon as you identify it, you're waiting for one of them to be exhausted. Right? So we are playing breakouts. This is what this is. This is why it works more often than not, because I want to say taking advantage of, but we are doing kind of two things at once. We're playing a momentum that is induced by FOMO buyers or FOMO sellers. FOMO buyers and FOMO sellers are extremely reliable in terms of just consistency. You could always imagine that somebody's going to have some fear of missing out on selling it now, or some fear of missing out on buying it now. So then when they start to feel that, then we use the charts against their hearts, and then it works, right? So it works more often than it don't. And again, you've been rocking me for a long time. You see what time it is. So now, yeah, like my guy Fred, shout out to Fred, man. That's my dog. Now it's patience. Remember, patience. Patience is one of those skills that'll pay the bills. Now, doing the charts and relying on the charts is one thing, but great point, right? I want to even go and grab that and put that one up. Shout out to you, family, for saying that, because that's real. That's real. Shout out to Fred. It's my dog. Now, we practice patience, right? You got to practice patience. Now, you ask, what are we waiting for? Let's see. What are we waiting for? We're going to do TA, which, again, I want to see if you're paying attention, family. Technical analysis. I don't care who you watching it happen from. I don't care if it was Warren Buffett. I don't care if it was whoever, right? I don't care who. 70% of the time. I'm telling you that to keep it real and keep it raw with you. I was going to ask 70%, but I already said it, so it is what it is. Now, what we're going to do is ask, what are we waiting for? It begins with the letter C. What are we waiting for? Let me know in the comments. And I'm going to even start drawing it, so you can see, what are we waiting for? Because again, people tell you to be patient. Do they tell you what to look for though? Like, what am I being patient for? Like, obviously being patient is good, but you ever heard how they say the early bird gets the worm? That's one side of it. But then patience is a virtue. Family, those two things are totally opposite of each other. The early bird gets the worm, but patience is a virtue. The idea is you got to know when the early bird gets the worm, and then you got to know when patience is a virtue. That's really the gem. So, yep, confirmation, baby. Confirmation. Confirmation. What is confirmation? If we're looking for calls, confirmation is a green candle that lives totally above your line. Remember what your line really is. Your line really is the top where the buyers are, or the top where the sellers are, right? It's like right there. So we want to blow through them so then we can play the breakout, and then all of the FOMO people come in. And this is why sometimes you will miss your entry. Again, it happens. It's a part of the game. Missing your entry happens. If you watch Steph Curry shoot a basketball, he probably make 10 straight and then miss one. It happens, right? It happens. So now, confirmation, that's right. So now, here's a question for you as well. If we wait for a green candle to close out above our early entry for a call, that's confirmation. So we can actually move that word. Let me go try to grab that word again. Let me move it over here. Here we go. So this is confirmation, a candle that lives totally above it. So I got a question for you. A candle like this candle here, if it is on the line, right? It's straddling the line. It looks good, but technically, is this confirmation? Is this confirmation? My guy said, nah, Curry don't miss. Shout out to Steph Curry. Shout out to Curry. Is this confirmation when we're on the line? And the answer is absolutely not. So I actually brought in a special guest today to answer this question. And I got a question. And Maury, is that confirmation? Somebody told me it was.
Lie detector test determined that was a lie.
Lie detector determined that was a lie. You thought it was confirmation.
Stupid.
But it's not. So now, with that being said, you could still make money there. And this is why I'm bringing this point up, and I'm trying to like kind of beat this point like into the ground so you can understand it. What would I call this? What would I call? So this is not confirmation. Confirmation, again, is a candle that lives totally above it. If something is on the line like this, I would call that, let's go add a new word to it, right? Let's go add something else into the mix while we're being patient here. And you see how we're in the gamble zone, right? You seen this big red candle, then a big green candle. You're like, yo, do I get into calls or puts? Family, it could go either way. So drawing, boom. I would call this a very early entry on a call. Very, I put it in caps. A very, very early entry on a call. If you traded it on the line. And sometimes you will see me do that. Sometimes you will see me do that, especially if I'm trying to spice the lives up a little bit. So something like this, it is an indicator, but it's a very, very early entry on a call. That's what I would call trading it on the line, right? So let me actually make this colors that you can actually see, because I know the background is dark. So I'm going to make this golden. So this is actually a newer-ish concept that you've seen me try and do and succeed at and fail at on the live streams. But this is a very early entry on a call. So now, that's when it's on the line. Very early entry on a call. And the exact opposite is true as well down here. Very early entry. And sometimes it works, but you gotta have a stop loss. I would even argue here too, on a very early entry on a call, I would say a 5% stop loss, if not 2% stop loss, right? 5 or 2%. So that's really what I'll go with it. So let's check this. Let's open it up more. And let's just keep it in line with the theme, text. 2% stop loss. Yep, I would say that 5 to 2%, anywhere in that area, right? So we keep it in line. So what you're doing now is you have systematized If that's a word, I don't know, but it's gonna be a word today. You have systematized your trading, so your heart is out of it. If you got in very early on a call, then you know, oh yeah, I need a 2% stop loss. And guess what? You are very likely to get kicked out with a 2% stop loss. You are very likely to get kicked out of something if you have a 2% stop loss on it. But again, you're trying to protect yourself from yourself, right? You want to protect yourself from yourself. And I brought this example up before. Allen Iverson, basketball player, right? Real big, early 2000s, like late 90s or so. What he did was he got like $90 million NBA contracts. He was blowing through the money, right? I heard he was tipping $20,000 at a restaurant. You know what I'm saying? I heard he was just buying gold chains and all of these kind of things and cars and all this type of stuff. Family, they said that he was supposed to be as rich as Jordan, as rich as LeBron, people like that, or Kobe, right? Rest in peace. But I would say Allen Iverson is probably closer to having under $100 million, like under that, whereas he should be like a billionaire right now. Why? Because he was blowing through the money. But he had a protection in there that somebody cared about him and put in place where once he turns 45 or some age like that, y'all heard about this, some of y'all, he's going to get paid either from Reebok or the NBA pension and things like that because, again, it's a forward protection from himself. He would have totally blew through it all, but now he got a forward protection. So then this is what you want to think about when you are trading. Am I going nuts and doing a very early entry on a call? And I got a question for you. In the past, were you able to identify the level of risk as easy as this? Were you able to identify the level of risk that you are taking on a trade as easy as this? Because this is just like, oh yeah, I'm getting into a very early call, or I'm in the gamble zone trading. This is maximum risk, in my opinion, in here, right? So you taking on all of the risk trading in the gamble zone. If you get in early, taking a whole lot of risk. If you get in very early, you're taking on a whole lot of risk. If you get in early, you're taking on a lot of risk. If you get in normal, you're taking a normal amount of risk for options. Options are generally more risky, but you understand that it's getting less and less and less risky, right? That's why it's important to be able to identify the level of risk that you are taking. I appreciate you, family, keeping it real with me. He said, no, absolutely not. He said, this is really helpful. And I want this to be helpful. And I also want you to see that sometimes you'll get a clear indicator and then sometimes you will not. So I'm going to delete this for now because I don't want this to be all jumbled up. But you see how this is a very early entry? I'm actually not even going to delete it. I'm just going to move it off screen, right? I'm going to move this off screen so we don't have to see it, so we could come back to this idea in the future. But we are waiting potentially for confirmation or a very early entry. But you got to understand the level of risk that you take. So, okay. Now, let's see this. We are currently in the gamble zone. We know that. We know this to be the case. Let me move this again. We are currently in the gamble zone. Again, it's anything goes in here. This is a cage match. If you've seen wrestling back in the day, this is a cage match in here. It's wild. Royal Rumble. We see that the MACD right here has crossed up. This is a sign of strength, meaning that this weakness that we were seeing, this downtrend right here, is no longer in play as strong as it was. It could come back, but it's no longer in play as strong as it was. The RSI has shot up to about 50. So that means that there must have been a big buy at market open, and then it's trying to continue to sell. However, we are seeing signs of strength inside of the gamble zone. The signs of strength that we're looking at is this. The long wicks on the bottom. Long wicks on the bottom of this candle. So what we can do, or all of the candles, long wicks are buyers, family. That's what that is. That's what you're looking at in simple form. So we could argue, and I ain't talking about going back and forth. I'm talking about make a case that this could potentially be the beginning of an uptrend. We don't have enough information yet to say it, but it potentially could be. the beginning of an uptrend. So we have our golden line of a super weak, probably beginning of an uptrend, maybe, but we're in a gamble zone, so anything goes. So this could potentially be the beginning of an uptrend. We'll see if we get a candle down here that breaks this uptrend, or if this candle just continues it on. So then if this happens, then over here in this point, we'll get a lot of action, a whole lot of action. Yep, flattened out. Basically flattening out right here. However, oh yeah, so I said this in the past too before, but now I want you to see this. Let's imagine that we just walked into the live stream right now. We didn't set none of these lines, right? We didn't set none of them. The green and the red line would be the same, because when you zoom out, you can see that that's still the high in the last few days, the green line, and that's still the low in the last few days, right? About 408 and about 411-ish in that area. Let me go back a little bit, about 411.30, right about there. So those things are still true. They'll be the same. However, let's go back here. If we just got into this live stream, then what we would see is, oh, remember how we set this blue line and we set it up all the way over here? If we just got here, we wouldn't have blue lines and we would set them now. You look at the most recent candle, because the blue lines are dynamic. They move as you get more price action. Price action meaning the candle's showing us what's been happening. So our blue line is now a little bit lower. So our consolidation is getting a little bit tighter. Before it was all the way up here. And let me just make it thicker so you can see it. Before it was over here, because when we opened the market, the peak was over here. But now the peak is here. So then we can put our blue line there, and this will be an early entry on a call. Right? And as time goes on, these blue lines can move with it, but you got to move them yourself, obviously, to play the breakouts and the breakdowns. So now our blue line on the bottom, our early entry on a put, is actually, it hasn't moved. It has not moved. This one has not. But the blue one came down. So we're still consolidating. However, the charts are speaking to us and telling us that the consolidation is actually losing its range. So before, again, it was all the way up here, but now it's lost some of that range. So it's getting springy. It's getting really, really springy. So then we could imagine that once we do get some type of action on the line, we're likely to get like a long candle. So when you get those long candles and those FOMO buyers start to rush in, right, I'm talking about real long candles. Sometimes you'll miss an entry, but it's just the way it go, family, straight up. But we are still in a gamble zone. The gamble zone is in between two blue lines. And remember, it is better to not trade than to get in at the wrong time. When you don't have any clear signals, it's just a patience game. Like my guy Fred said, it is what it is. It is what it is. You said, is the chart on extended? Yes, it is. So you see over here on the bottom of my screen, how it says EXT. This is, if I click on that and it's not blue anymore, it'll take away the pre-market and the aftermarket. You see, it's gone. But I need the pre-market. I need the aftermarket so that I can see what the big dogs are doing during the time that they like to get busy. So also take a look at this. You see our normal entry on a call when I took the extended hours off? Family, look, you see that? It's called a double top, 1 and 2. Also, you got a double bottom too, 1 and 2. But this double top is extremely strong up here. So if we break past this about 411-ish, 412, and in between that range, family, it's very likely that we could rock it. Remember, nothing's guaranteed because we already know the big dogs want to steal all your money. But let's go back to the time frame with the extended hours on. And now again, it's just a patience game. So, all right, I said I wanted to talk to you a little bit, right? So I wanted to get this education part out. So make sure if you just rolling in here that you hit the like for me. Make sure also that you take care of yourself. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure that you you really watching out in your surroundings, because the wolves is out here, family. The wolves is out here in real life. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're trying to grow our money. You're gonna have a hard time doing that if you don't live to see the next day. You understand what I'm saying? And people out here will take everything from you. They take your soul out your body, family, for nothing. For nothing. And I'm saying that to say this. Literally, I found out today, actually last night, 2 people. Now, I didn't know them close like that. I'm not gonna act like, you know how everybody know everybody all of a sudden they was your best friend when they pass away. I'm not gonna say that. That didn't happen. But 2 people that I know from growing up, that I grew up with, right? The same neighborhood, the same hood that I was in. Totally separate from each other. One of them got killed, and then hours later, another one got killed. Family. One in their 20s, one in their 30s. Family, come on now. Totally separate from each other. So I want you to just make sure that you're protecting yourself and that you really are, you value every day, family. You mean a lot. You mean a lot more than you know. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna just keep it real. Sometimes you will never know how much you mean, because in the world that we live in the social media age, you gotta die to find out. But if you die, you won't find out. And it's really the way that it is, family. People don't get appreciated like they should until they pass away. So I want to say all of y'all, I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. Bassam Kahil, I appreciate you. MBMNY 125, I appreciate you. Brother, I appreciate you. All Kings, I appreciate you. Jay, It's Official TV, free, I appreciate you. Jackson Plus, Dion Hudson, I appreciate you. Melson, I appreciate you. Pelqui 69, I appreciate you. Adari, I appreciate you. Tony, I appreciate you. MJ, BT, Mark Andrews, I appreciate you. Travis, I appreciate you. Astra LW, I appreciate you. C Simmons, I appreciate you. Juan, I appreciate you. MRMY, I appreciate you. Dwayne, I appreciate you. Darkson Gaming, I appreciate you. Everybody in here, I'm telling you. Annette, I appreciate you. Brother Jones, Rita, Fred, I appreciate you. I want you to understand me on that. I do. Lamar, I appreciate you. Everybody in here, I really want you to see this. Naisha, Junebug, I appreciate you. Kevin, listen to me. I want you to understand. Scorch, James, Shada, Adrian, Jacob, Cooking for the Week in Minutes, I appreciate you. Jeffrey, I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. There's a lot of us on here, right? So I can't get to all of us, obviously, but I want you to really know from the bottom of my heart that I really do. And I want you to live. I want you to thrive. I want you to grow. I want you to keep growing. I want you to get old. I want you to get old. So many people don't get old. I want you to get old. I want you to get old. So right now, we trading in the gamble zone still. We breaking down though. We're breaking down. What we're looking for right now here, this would be a very early entry on the put where we're touching the line. What we want is confirmation. Like I always tell you, you don't necessarily... I'm sorry, family. You don't necessarily get it when it's on the line, unless you're trying to get into a very extremely high risk early entry. So right now, we are seeing continued weakness. The MACD is crossing down. Technically, we are still in a gamble zone. We are at very early entry on a put range. Right now, I'm going to open up my phone and I'm going to show you what option price is right now. We're at 408. I'm going to go and look at the 405. I want it to cost... I'm trying to get it back together a little bit because I don't really want to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not one of them people that just go on the internet to try to put on a show or put on a scene, but I'm live and sometimes, you know, things get to you, you know what I mean? So I'm going looking at the SPY, options. I'm looking at puts right now for the reason that, not that I just know it's going to go down, but I'm looking at puts right now because we are near the put range, right? We are near put range. So right now we're at basically very early entry for a put. Confirmation I like better, even though I do know that we're in the gamble zone still. So you got in very early on a put, it's going to be just oscillating like this and you might, you know what I'm saying? It might not work out in your favor sometimes. So confirmation is more reliable. So I'm going and looking at an option, right? I'm looking at it's 408 right now. We're bouncing back up. We know this can happen because we're on the bottom of the gamble zone, where this is basically where the buyers are to be exhausted, right? These are like the last stand buyers. So they're pushing it back up. It's working. So this is why, and I want to zoom in on this just to make a very strong point about the confirmation kind of thing. And like my guy Fred was saying, like, it's just patience, right? You see how this is on the line and it looked like it was going to break through, but it had a hard time and it couldn't, because you need that confirmation often to be more reliable. But sometimes you can get early and then it could work out. MACD is now, it's kind of in line with the signal line, and the RSI is totally normal. RSI is totally normal. So either way it go, RSI is not overbought or oversold, and we tend to like that. It's not the best. You would prefer it if we wanted to go on a rocket. You would prefer for the RSI to be a little bit like low, so that we can see that it's likely to show us some strength, but this is fine. So now what I'm gonna do, we're looking at 408, right? I'm gonna go to my put options. Not that I'm buying it right now. I want to be clear. Not that I'm buying it right now, but we're gonna look at the puts because this is where we're getting close to the confirmation on the put. It doesn't mean that it will happen, but it means that I want to know what things cost. So now I go and I look at the 405. I'm looking at the 405 put. I'm going to send it up here to you just so you can see what it costs right now. And you can see the exact option that I'm looking at. Now, this doesn't mean that I want to hold it until it hits 405. Everybody here who's new at options or anything like that, the goal is we could have been selling cars, right? I think I need some water. The goal is we could have been selling cars. This is $61. This is $62 at the time that I took the screenshot. This is the 405 February 7th put. I didn't buy it yet. I don't plan on holding it long if I did get in, right? But imagine that we bought it. You had to buy it at this price at 62. Family, I don't need SPY to go to 405. That would be great. I don't need it to happen though. I just need this 62 to turn into 63, 64, 120, right? Something like that. I need it to go higher. That's really what it is. I'm buying a thing. We call it an option contract. We call it an option. We call it a whatever. I'm buying it at $62. I want to sell it higher than $62. That's the end of the game, right? That's it. Now, the goal is to find out, is it likely to go down or is it likely to go up? So now, we got our lines here that are speaking to us, and we know we're in the gamble zone. We can see that there are buyers right here. There are two indications that there are buyers here. One of them is our line. One of them is our line. If we're playing breakouts, we want to exhaust through the buyers and then ride the wave down with the FOMO sellers. Now, this, our second indicator that we didn't really confirm under the line is that these long wicks on the bottom, like I always tell you to just keep your eye on that, right? So if you see me, like I always say, calling out, oh yeah, you know I'm looking at, hold up, I don't think I need this one anymore. If you see me calling out, oh yeah, the price now has changed, because I took the screenshot, it was 62. The price is 50, the price is 70, something like that. I'm talking about this red ask price. So let me even describe to you, since this one is very educational, what this is, right? Is this. The green, there are 35 people right now, or 35 contracts, this exact contract, that someone or many people are trying to, they want to buy it for 61. This is what they want to buy it for. They're like, yo, we need 35 contracts and we need it at 61. Now over here, there are 3,532 contracts of this one. People are trying to sell it. They're trying to sell out of this, right? And they're selling it for 62. So these are what people are buying it for, the bid, B-I-D. And this is what people are selling it for, the ask at the time of this screenshot, right? So now you could even play the order book's momentum. What does that mean? Do you see, when you see 61 here, there are only 35 people trying to buy it at 61. However, there's a whole crowd of people trying to sell it at 62. So where's the momentum? Who's going to get exhausted first? These buyers, 35, or these sellers, 3,500, right? This is 2 orders of magnitude above this one. So what is this telling us, family? This is telling us that imagine 35 of these all, boom, they get bought out at this price. There are some buyers under them who are trying to buy it at 60, flat, 60, not 61. So these sellers are going to push the price down, right? So you can see the order book. So when you start to see a massive amount of orders coming in over on this side, then you can see that, oh, the buyers are about to push it up. And then you can see the price going up. Let's go and see what happens. So yeah, right now, so that would be 3 indicators of strength. So the first indicator of strength was we bounced it off of the line. The second one, the long wicks on the bottom. And then the third one was actually in the order book itself. Oh no, I'm sorry. They must have pushed it and then boom, the market changed back. So now I imagine people are trying to just take profit at this price. So then let's go and see what it has become. Let's go and see what it has become. Yeah. Yep. Just like I said. I took another screenshot of this. And this one's a little bit later. And we can see that it used to be 62, and now it's 52. So like we were saying, the sellers were pushing the price down, right? They're pushing the price down. Since this is a put option, If we are seeing strength on the stock or ETF itself, the put options get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. But again, we are still in the gamble zone. This is just straight up patience, family. Patience. Patience, grasshopper. This is what we got. So yeah, I see the headphones coming in the chat. Appreciate y'all for that. Now, another thing too. Why the SPY? Why the SPY? And why, like, you'll see me trade the SPY often. What I want you to do and consider is find something that's big. Find something that's a big thing to trade. And thank you. Thank you. Something that's big like the SPY, for example, right? Not something that's so small, like a company that got $100 million worth, right? Or something like that, because it's very hard to mess up rule number 5. It kind of takes some of the power out of it. Not all, but some of the manipulation. So imagine that you have something worth hundreds of billions of dollars, for example, or even tens of billions of dollars. And then a private equity, some type of Citadel or something like that. They try to move it. They can, but it's harder to move because it's a big entity. So it's much harder to move versus something that's really, really small. So like if we were trying to trade, for example, and no disrespect, but BBBY, you can. It's okay if you so choose. However, it's extremely easy for some big institution or something like that to move it. So imagine this. Imagine that you have, and this sounds crazy, right? But people have been fined for this. Imagine that you got $1 billion, right? $1 billion to trade. You running a $100 billion company. You got $1 billion to trade with today. If you lost, oh well, it's just 1%, right? It's still $1 billion, but it's 1% of what you got. So you be all right. This is what you're thinking. You look at something like BBBY. You say, yo, this company ain't even worth. Let's just go and check, just so I can get you some real numbers, right? You look at BBBY, and your goal is to make money on it. Now the SEC, the alphabet boys, they shouldn't allow stuff like this, but it happens. It says that BBBY currently, the market cap is $399 million, not even $1 billion company. BBBY is officially a penny stock. Not even 400 million, less than that. You got $1 billion to trade today, family. That means you could buy this thing hundreds of times over, right? So what you say is, yo, I'm about to double the price on BBBY. I'm about to only spend, I got $1 billion. $1 billion is 1,000 million, right? You could buy this multiple times over. So, oh no, I'm sorry. I probably said hundreds. You could buy this multiple times over, right? Basically 2 times over. You say, yo, I'm about to double the price of BBBY. I'm about to put in 400 million. And what I'm gonna do though first is I'm gonna buy some calls. So then you put 400 on the calls. You put 400 on the stock is running up, your calls is running up. You attract all of the FOMO buyers. You attract them all. Now they running you way up, way up. And now you just made crazy money because you had the power to do so. So that's very hard to do with something like the SPY because it's such a big entity that smaller institutions who may try to get busy like that, they can't do it. Or they can't do it as easily. The manipulation is always gonna be there, but they can't do it as easily. He said, Keenan, I was up 70. Then when you open BBBY, it went to $1. Family, be careful over there. Don't mean you shouldn't trade it, but just understand the game. He said, Keenan, salute, very good discipline. I appreciate you. Prior to your teaching, I would have jumped in on a put. Hold up, let me put this up for everybody to see because I think this might be a good one. My guy said, prior to your teaching, I would have jumped in on a put already and been down and on the verge of losing it all. So thanks. I appreciate you, man. Yo, I'm telling you, the principles is real. Shout out to you, family. Shout out to you. You said, you see that? Yep, the manipulation. It's so easy to do when you got billions and hundreds of billions of dollars to trade with. And keep in mind, family, that's hundreds of billions of dollars. Some of these companies, BlackRock assets under management, some of these companies got $10 trillion, family. $10 trillion. I'm telling you about something somebody could do with 1 billion. Imagine what you could do if you got 10 trillion and you might trade 100 billion today. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, these is real. And let me put this into perspective. 1 billion is 1,000 million, right? If you got 1,000 millionaires in a room and they all got $1 million, family, that's equal to 1 billion. Altogether, 1,000 millionaires got $1 billion. Just one. Family, if you put 1,000 or 1,000 billionaires in the room, 1,000 billionaires, all of them have $1 billion. That's just 1 trillion. Imagine the impact that 1,000 billionaires could have on the market. Now, keep in mind, that's just 1 trillion. BlackRock has 10 trillion in assets under management. It says here that Vanguard has 7.2. So BlackRock and Vanguard together can make something really, really crazy happen, family. So we got to always be mindful of this. Some people get so caught up in the technicals, they get so caught up in just the news or just the fundamental value of the company that they're not taking a step back and looking at the whole picture. All right, so we're coming to retest this support level right here. Now, if you can see, we are trading on a technical downtrend. We have a high, and then we have a lower high. So we have a few indicators of weakness. Again, where will we be if we decided to get in here? This would be a very early entry on a put. This would be a very early entry on a put. Now, when you get into a play, you got to think, why did I get into the play? Right? You always got to know that. If you are trading on the downtrend, just this downtrend alone, if it ever breaks your downtrend and confirms above your downtrend, a candle that lives totally above it and beyond it, that's telling you, yo, your downtrend ain't real. Your downtrend ain't real. It's invalidated. So you got to be mindful of that, right? So, okay. Now we're seeing the weakness. We're still seeing it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at that put that we had pulled up before. I didn't get in it yet, but I'm going to look at it again. Last time we checked, it was 52. When we first saw it, it was 62. But right now, let's go see what it costs. So it's back to 62. Remember, we're still technically in the gamble zone because we didn't get a candle to totally confirm below it. However, we are hitting new lows of the day, which is a sign of weakness. Okay, so now that is 62, and we have still not yet confirmed, right? We have still not yet confirmed. I've been on a live stream for like an hour and 15 minutes. Sometimes I'll spice it up and play it towards the downside. I'm going and I'm looking at it right now. Again, I'm looking at this option. It is currently 60 on it flat, 60 flat. I'm looking. I didn't pick it up yet, but I got my phone right here so I can pick it up. And I'm looking for entry. So it's 61. I'm going to buy potentially a few. But let's be clear. If you are a new investor, understand that we have not confirmed, right? We have not yet confirmed at all. There's no confirmation here. It didn't happen. I'm trying to open this candle up. Meaning, since there's no confirmation, it's extremely high risk. And I don't see it as a good plan to keep taking high risk trades. But sometimes I will to spice it up a little bit on the live. All right, so now I'm looking at the price. And up, I was about to jump in, but I didn't. Because I'm trying to battle with this freaking candle right here. I might have to draw a whole new one. Now it's 58, 58, 58. But what if we're trading on this downtrend right here, right? That's something that I want to keep in mind. this golden downtrend. I almost picked it up at 60, but I didn't. I was hoping that we would get a confirmation, but we didn't. Now it's 55. Let's see if we break through. But again, we don't want to forget we're in a gamble zone. Okay, so now she's 55. Now she's 55 again. You said the 405 put for you says 106. Check your date, family. Check your date. You said, Keenan, you got some patience? Oh, yeah. You got to have it, family. You got to have it. It's important. It's very important. We in the gamble zone, baby. We cannot forget that. We in between two blue lines. I was going to potentially take a very early entry on a put. While I was watching the price action or watching the order book even, I started to see it not going in the direction, so I didn't do it. Am I playing the Fab 7? This exact contract right here is what I got on my eyesight. 405, February 7th. So now somebody said, yo, 0 days to expire. Family, remember, I don't plan on holding this at all. Long. If I didn't get in yet, but I don't plan on holding nothing like this at all. I'm just trying to buy it for, let's say it was 62. I would just be trying to buy it and then get it and sell it for higher. When I buy, I post to Keenan's trades. So right now, again, I have not bought it yet. I see it at 54. We have no confirmation either way. Up here, down here. A candle that lives totally above and beyond. If you buy it on the line, remember what we call that? Extremely, I guess I didn't put extreme on it, but a very early entry, which means that you're taking some of the most high risk because you're technically still in the gamble zone. Right now it's 54. We did see it at 52. But right now, it's 54, 53. Yeah, it looked like she's just going to keep trading the gamble zone. How did I find the gamble zone? Big dog, I need you to rewind so then you can see me set these blue lines. And then I moved them too. Can I adjust the early entry lines? Absolutely. Absolutely. Good point. So let's do it again. You can adjust the early entry lines. That was an amazing point. So now let me just zoom in here. Amazing point. So we still are following this trend line right here, this golden downtrend line. We want to see if we confirm above this trend line even. But also, technically, you can move your early entry lines because when you look at the candle, where's the most recent peak to the left? Is here. So you see how we are consolidating even more? But we still in the gamble zone. But now we have two different trends at once that currently are running parallel to each other, but it can't last long because they intersect. So we can't have this flat bottom right here and this downtrend at the same time for too long. You said JP. Yeah, I'm telling you. Do you have to pay attention to the Greeks? It's important, especially if you want to hold. Especially if you want to hold. Like if you're holding overnight and delta is really low and theta is really high, you want to say, nah, I'm chill on that. All right. So we still respecting this downtrend a little bit, but it looks like it won't last long. So right now, what is SPY? SPY down like not much, 0.25%, which is 97 cents on the day. Yeah, did I say something wrong? If delta is very low and theta is very high, then I would not hold that overnight. Delta is basically what is going to move up, like what the option price is going to move up. So like this, the Greeks interact with these. So let's say that you buy this and you hold it overnight and the stock doesn't move at all, right? It just stays the same, like 408. If it goes up $1 and let's say Delta is 10, it goes up $1, then Delta is going to make this 67 into 62 into 72, right? If Delta was 10, you add Delta right on top of it for every successive dollar move. But if Theta is like freaking 30, right? And you hold it overnight and it goes up $1, then you put Delta on it. It's going to make it that 10, 72. And then you got to add Theta to it. It's going to take 30 away. So you really down. So it didn't make no sense to hold it overnight unless it was going to rocket, which it could. So yeah, family, look, we're in the gamble zone right now still. Not every day is like this. Some days it's best not to trade. You can see the MACD is giving us no clear signal at all. It's flat. It's crazy flat. I think the markets are just preparing to hear Jerome Powell say something that they like or don't like, right? So we got, this is super flat. And then we got the RSI is in the 40 range. So it's neutral. RSI is neutral. We have not broken past any of our lines yet. However, they have gotten successively closer and closer to each other. So we're looking for a potential breakout or breakdown. And we would like to get in on confirmation. So, family, I'm going to get up out of here. I'm going to chalk today up to no clear signals during the live. Clear signals can still happen, but I'm not getting any clear signals. I'm not getting any clear signals. Today is the 7th. And remember, the no clear signal days protect you. When you say that, sometimes you got no one to hold them, and sometimes you got no one to fold them. Could protect you from these days. Right? We don't want one of these days. So I'm not getting no clear signals. So then I'm gonna avoid one of these kind of days right here and just accept, boom, this is what I get. I get what I get. I don't get mad. I trade with the chart. Now my heart. And if the chart ain't telling me, hey man, oh, whoa. Maybe I'll just stay on for a second. It looks like we may get a clear signal. So let's go and let's just check real quick. Let's go over to the watch list. And let's see which one I put up here. The 418. No, that was a different one. The 415, right? Let's go look and see what it costs. Said love the education. Appreciate you, family. We like to either earn. We like to either earn or learn. That's important to me. So let's go over to the calls now, since we are getting closer to the early entry on a call now. Remember, the early entry on a call, early entry on a put, they're very close right now. But we're getting early entry on call level. So we're going to go and see the 415 is currently $24. I'm going to put it up on the screen so you can see which one I'm looking at. All right. So this one is called SPY 415 strike. Expiration today, February 23. I didn't buy it, but this is the one I'm looking at. Right now it's 24 on the ask. We still in the gamble zone. Where did it go? Where did my word go? Hope I didn't delete it. Oh no, I didn't. Good old gamble zone, baby. We would like to get some confirmation. You can see how the wicks are tall on the top. That means the sellers are up there, but we already knew that because our line is there, our resistance line. MACD bounced off the signal line. RSI is still in normal range, believe it or not. Showing some strength. You see that long wick on the bottom? That means that there are buyers really trying to push it. But we know the sellers are out here. This is what we would prefer to see, confirmation. And when you trade it again on the line, that's a very early entry. This is a normal early entry. New traders, I would imagine that you wouldn't have high risk tolerance like that because you might not know yet how to adjust your stop loss appropriately. But I want you to learn. Go to Discord, go to the class questions, and then type how to stop loss. How to stop loss. So I honestly, I don't have any of these. I don't have this option yet, right? But let me think. How could I try to show you? Okay, let's look. Let's look at this together. So I'm going to share this with the screen. I want to show you literally how simple it is to do this. So boom, look at this. This is the same option, but I'm looking at the whole screen. Really pay attention to me right now. Like really, really close. This is literally it. So headphones in the chat. Let me delete some of these so I could just have this up. This option right now is 24. If I want to buy it, notice I'm doing what type of order? A limit. This is where your stop loss is in your order types. This would be a limit buy, meaning I'm trying to buy this for exactly this price for 24. But if you could get it for me for lower, I'd be willing to buy that too. That's what the limit order means. I'm trying to buy it no higher than this. And it will be 1. So I'll pay $24 for this. This is the 415 call. I didn't buy it yet, but I really want you to pay attention. Let's say that I bought it, right? And now it's popping up. Now it's popping up in my feed. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go click on the order types after I bought this, right? So I bought it. Now I'm looking at my feed and where I see, oh, I got Apple. Oh, I'm holding VTI. Oh, I'm holding Bitcoin, whatever. And then I click on the option. What I want to do is go change the order type. I ain't trying to buy no more. What I would be trying to do is I would go to sell, right? So this button will be on sell. So it's green now, it would be red. And I would click it because I'm trying to sell it. When you click on something, it wants to know, do you want to sell this? So then it's already on sell. I would change my order type once I click this down drop button right here. This is going to pop up. Stop order, right? This is just a natural stop. So what it means is if it comes down to hit this price, my stop loss is going to trigger and kick me out, right? So I just changed my limit order, which would be a limit sell, to now a stop sell, right? So it'd be a sell. And what type of sell? A stop, not a limit, right? So unless I don't have the option, so I can't show you exactly how it looks totally. But, oh, I guess I could do this. This is how the stop loss looks. I don't have it, but this is how it looks. Because I didn't buy the option. But boom, It's on sell. What kind of sell? A stop. And what price? At this price. So if it hits this price, then boom, it's gonna be ready to kick me out. It's literally that simple. I just go to what kind of order? It's a sell. Boom, boom, done. Straight like that. So look at this, family. Buyers is pushing in, pushing in, pushing in. So this would be, again, considered a very early entry on a call. Very early entry on a call. Because you didn't pass the line to get the confirmation. Even the confirmation is an early entry. But when you're on the line, it's a very early entry. So Haley asked this, why not a limit plus take profit, stop loss? You can do that too. It's all up to your preference at that point. Yeah, all of these green candles, that strength, MACD is expanding out, that strength. We are at a resistance line. Resistance lines are not a sign of strength. Breaking through them is. So yeah, this one is still 24 right now. Oh yeah, also, have you ever heard the term mid price? Mid price, let me show you what that's about. So I got all these things up now. Let me just X out some of them. So we have a clear. All right, yeah. So you see how this is 23 and this is 24? That means the option technically is worth about, it's a penny difference, but technically the mid price is directly in the middle of the two. So if you ever get into an option and you feel like, yo, I get in, I'm down automatically, I'm down immediately. It's because you paid 24, but it's worth 23.50, which is in the middle of the two. That's why you see the green and the red converge right here. It's in the middle of those two. Okay, so now this option is, it costs 23. I've been on a live for a long time. Oh shoot, I was gonna try to load up right there at the 23. Let me see if I could probably try to grab that at 23. However, look, we are still in the gamble zone. What I'm about to do and try to do is very high risk, but I want to spice up the live a little bit because I know how to do a stop loss. I know what I'm willing to totally lose. I know how to stop the losses from happening quick. So then this is what I'm looking at. Now that it's 23 again, I'll buy 100 of them. Oh wait, I'm still on sell. Let me try to, all right, I'll buy 100 of them. Oh, I got to stop buy. I still got my stop order in, family. Hold up. Cancel this order. I got to change it all back because I'm on a stop buy. Hold up. Let me go back to my 215 and limit buy. Now we're at 23. We might even come back to the 22. Hold up. I couldn't get that order filled. As soon as I get it filled, I'll post it to Keenest Trades. All right, so 23. We still in the gamble zone. Let's keep that in mind. A lot of people forget about stuff like that. I couldn't get that filled, but I'm back. And I'm going to try to buy. Let's see. Before I get in, let's check the RSI. RSI is 46. It's kind of cooling a little. Here we go. I tried to get in at that 23, but I couldn't get a fill. So I have an order set for it, but she didn't fill. But again, high risk, high risk. Now she's pumping. I'm so mad, family. Remember I had this set to sell. I had changed it to buy, and then I'll try to buy it. But then it was like a stop buy order instead of being the stop, what's the name order? There's a limit. like I usually have it at. I had to rechange my settings. But I tried to get in at 23 and I missed it. You miss your entry sometimes. Which date are you buying? It's on the watch list. And also I just showed it to you right here. The 4/15/07, February 7th. However, I didn't get in it. I missed my entry. That I tried to get in at 23. But I'm still here. Still here checking it out, looking at it. Also, we are going to approach a real strong psychological level. I'm going to try to buy some at 24. Okay. Again, we do not have confirmation. This is the very early one. So I posted to Keenan's Trades. Posted to Keenan's Trades. Again, with a timestamp on it, so you can see the receipts. We don't have confirmation. I'm taking a higher risk trade because this is spice up the live, like I tell you. Confirmation lives totally above and beyond it. So now I put in, let me see what this is worth right now. I'm in it for like 1,000. I'm up like $25. But what I want to do, I'm willing to trade $5,000, right? You always got to be mindful of what you're willing to trade. For this one, I'm willing to buy it again and bring my average down. But only quickly. So right now, I'm up like $25, right? Nothing to write home about, but I'm waiting for confirmation. And again, I don't expect to be in this long. That's one thing that I want you to know. We still have not gotten confirmation. This is that very early entry, right? This is that very early entry. And we can see, what is this? Sellers. Pushing us right back into here. The 23 entry would have been great, but I just didn't get it. It wasn't in the cards. And we have a psychological level is going to be at 410 that we got to be mindful of. Right now, she's still at this 24 and 23. I'm in. You can check Keenan's Trades at 24. But I got 1/5 of the money that I'm willing to trade in it. So then if it comes back down to a level that I like, I'm just going to try to load up again. However, just know, I'm not going to be averaging down into infinity. At a certain point, you got to take an L. Like right here, I'd be willing to buy more. But if it breaks under that, I'm out and taking an L. But I identified long before my trade, see if I still got it, that this concept is what I'm doing. A very early entry. I'm understanding that I'm taking extremely high risk. And when you take extremely high risk, it takes a lot of skill. But I'm seeing some short-term strength, and I want to see if we can hold it or if we break these levels and break through the buyers, which I can see right here, which we are still, we'll see. We'll see what we get. Yo, family, this live been a little bit of a roller coaster for me. So since I'm in the trade, I guess I could take this away. This isn't true anymore. So we're starting to see some of that weakness. We want to see if, so again, where am I playing? I'm playing a very early entry. I know the level of risk that I'm taking. The 23 to the 25 would have been a really good flip, but it just didn't. It wasn't in the cards. Not for me. I couldn't get in on that price. So now I see it again at 23. So what I'm going to try to do, because we didn't break through that line yet, is I'm going to try to buy it again. How many did I buy? I pulled it up because I'm still looking at the order. Where is it? Hold up. Let me just try to get in at 23. Let me get out of here and check. I got 50 of them. So, okay. Try to buy more, but I ain't going to rush to buy more. I'm going to see if it breaks through this line or not. Because what if I could get a 23? See if I can do a quick flip. But again, very early entry, a lot of patience, a whole lot of patience, and a lot of skill. It takes a lot of skill to not get crushed on it. MACD is starting to curl down. Be mindful of that. We are approaching this line right here. Now it's at 22. I didn't buy it yet because it's showing weakness. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is this. Take my stop loss off. Taking my stop loss off. And I'm going to show you how to work your way out of being down. So look at this. I'm down 14%. It's 15. So I'm down 15 right now. But I didn't go all in all at once. I'm going to try to play a bounce and get me out in profit. Right? I'm going to try to play a bounce and get me out in profit because I got the rest of the 4,000, 5,000 totally. I got 1,000 in now that I'm willing to use to try to work my way out of this. But again, this happens, stuff like this happens when you are doing a very early entry and you don't wait for confirmation. I hope that I made that very clear. If it's rejected at the resistance, shouldn't we sell? What I imagine you mean is, should your stop loss kick you out if you got in early? Yes. But I'm going to show you another thing, another strategy. Like the other day, I showed you the momentum. Now I'm going to try to show you how to get out of a play that's not going your way because you didn't go all in at once. So, okay. Showing weakness. I see my MACD trying to curl down. I see that there are some buyers right here, but they're getting pulled through. They're totally getting pulled through. Push through. Remember the importance of confirmation because some people miss that. And this is how you don't get yourself into a situation that you got to like battle your way out of, like I'm about to do right now, where you wait for it. Am I buying a put? No. I'm in a call that I'm going to try to work my way out of. But I got in on a very early entry, which, remember the rules, 2% stop loss, I would say max 5. Or not even max 5, a 2 to 5% stop loss on a very early entry, between 2 and 5. So I would have been got kicked out. You see what I'm saying? But now I'm going to try to work my way out and actually not lose. It's not guaranteed, but this is what I'm going to try. I'm just looking for the bottom. Before I go in more. Okay. The MACD looks like it's getting close to crossing over. Can't tell yet. Okay. So it's at 21. I'm going to try to buy 50. So use another one of my 1,000. So far, Nothing. But again, playing a very early entry. Didn't wait for confirmation. To spice up the live a little bit. So now she's pushing up. I'm down 6%. However, be clear, we on the downtrend. We got a high. We're likely to get a lower high. We are on the downtrend. Let's see what we got. He said spicy. Spicy. Let's get it. Tito said YOLO. I'm gonna say, hold up, stop the cap. Stop the cap. I ain't doing no YOLO. You won't catch me doing no YOLO. It would have to be an extremely small amount of money if I'm gonna do something like that. I'm trading with the charts. YOLO mean throw a thing at the board and just wait. So now what I'm doing is I'm showing you how you could pull yourself out. Or at least attempt to, and then when to know when to hold them and when to know when to fold them. So look at this. You see this long wick on the top? That's another sign of weakness. It's another sign of weakness. We want to blow past that. I tried to fill at 21, but I couldn't get that. So I'm still in at 24. But that average down to 21 would have been able to let me get out right now. 8 break even. It just didn't fill. So I'm gonna cancel that order because it never filled. So I'm still in with my original amount. Okay, so now I'm looking at it again. And again, I identified weakness again here. Long wick on the top. That means that my sellers are right here pushing her. They're pushing it down. Pushing it down. And right here, I'll fold. I say, yep, done. But I still do see an opportunity to come out of this on top because I didn't go all in. RSI on the uptrend, right? Good point. MACD is kind of flat. So let me try to write this out to you so I can explain what I'm doing. I got to pay attention though, because it's real hot. So got in very early. Got in very early, right? I didn't put the stop loss on because I'm trying to spice it up a little bit. Got in very early, which we made yellow. Got in very early. Let me see if I can get the colors, which we made yellow. Got in very early. Now, what I'm trying to do is I used 1/5 of the 5K that I'm willing to trade with, AKA $1,000. So now I'm looking to either average down or just take an L. But remember, I would never risk the whole 5, or that's what I'm willing to risk out of my whole portfolio is this. So then, boom, I knew I was getting in very early. So I said, yo, rather than getting in very early and taking away all my power, I'm just going to use 1,000 instead of the 5. Right? And now I'm in, playing it super hot. I try to average down right here, which this would have put me at break even at the point that we are right now. But right now I'm down about 6%. We're gonna retest this line, and I'm not gonna average down yet. Thanks for spicing it up. Gives you confidence and practice. Stop loss, of course. Let's get it. So now we're gonna re-encounter this resistance again. I see on the order book, the buyers is trying to push it. Notice though, family, understand me. I'm trading in front of everybody. Do you see me having any fear, any lack of confidence, any of that? Right? Oh, I don't know what to do. You don't see that happening to me at all. You got to stay calm. You got to stay cool. You got to stay in perspective. I knew the perspective because the charts told me that I was getting in early. So if I'm getting in early like that, I knew that the risk was going to be crazy. Right? I knew the risk was going to be just nuts. So then I was like, oh, I don't need to put in 5,000 in one trade, because then I'll be like heart pounding out your chest. You understand? No, none of that. Chris Florence said, why not use the EMA trend lines? They all work. You use what you want. Every one of them works. How often do you move entry lines? You move them whenever it makes sense. Like, for example, the early entry on a put, you look at the candle, what's the lowest one to the left is this, so then you can move it now. I really try to average down at that 21, but I didn't get it. Oh yeah, that's right, Free. Yo, Free been with me for a while. It's bad for your blood pressure. Listen, let's get it. Yeah, I'm still mad I didn't get to average down. I tried. Cool, calm, focus, right? No fear. Don't trade with fear. Understand that you will lose, and it's okay to lose. You just don't want to lose a lot. And look. Here we go. No fear. And now I'm back in the green. I didn't even get to average down. So family, look, you've seen it on the live streams. Quick $100 using $1,000, right? Quick $100 using $1,000. You've seen it on the live. None of it's fake. None of it's pretend, right? None of it is all of this stuff. I know there's a lot of people talking about, oh man, you got to understand what you're doing and know what you're doing. So you got to have a good teacher. You got to have somebody who knows what they're talking about. So boom, that's what I got for you. She's still running up. So, okay, check this. I'm up $100. I tell you every time, I like $100 bills. If I have $100 more than I have yesterday, that's a good day, right? I bought this at 24. I am going to sell it at 25 or higher. Okay, look, now I'm up 10%. Yo, shout out to Jaden. Shout out to Jay. Shout out to Jaden. I appreciate you, big dog. He said, yo, we got the GOAT for real. I appreciate you, big dog. I really do. I really do. So, all right, look. Now, you know what time it is. It went from 105 to 130. So, what do I do with my stop loss? I move her up so I can get kicked out and then be done with the play. Right? So I can be kicked out and be done. And it is what it is. So, all right, family. I appreciate y'all. And Now you can see how it goes and how you could actually make money if you take your heart out of it and you got to trade responsibly, right? You got to be responsible in this game, or else you're going to get totally and utterly smoked and wiped out. And I don't want that for you. And I'm seeing, look, it's really crazy out here. Like dang. It's really crazy out here. But again, you know me. I always move that stop loss up, kick me out. All right, boom. Kicked out. Better than when you bought it. All right. 130. Took a long time to do, but I stayed on the trade and I'm done. So now I'm gonna get on out of here. I didn't go all in. It would have been nice to make even more, but when you get greedy, you get smoked. So then stop loss kicks you out and you make money. Now, not every day is going to be challenging like this. Not every day is going to be as extensive and long, but you could really make money. You just want to keep it up, right? So let's say that tomorrow, boom, or Thursday, yo, today is a $3,000 day or something like that. Take small wins. Take small wins. Take small wins. If it's good enough to screenshot, it's good enough to take profit on. If it's good enough to screenshot, it is good enough to take profit on. All right? And look, she's just going and going and going. You love to see it, right? So family, if you appreciate the video, what I want you to do is put a 1 in the chat. And also what I would like you to do is don't have any fear when you trade. If you have fear in your trades, you're just trading with too much money. Somebody asked, how much money do you need to trade options? To trade this specific option, you just needed $24 and you could have got one. You could have got one contract for $24. Look at this. And that's how you get it going. Don't let your emotions get involved, because then you're just going to end up getting smoked and having a bad day. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want that for you. I want you to make money, continuously make money. So look, it's still pumping up, right? But at a minimum, if I get kicked out, I set it up so that I'm going to make 130 on it with my stop loss. And then I don't got to babysit this no more. I could leave it alone and be done. So then when somebody asks me, yo, Keenan, that's a, and no disrespect, big dog, I just want to bring this point up. That's a zero days to expire, man. That's a YOLO. Notice ain't no YOLO. I knew the game. I bought it at 24. Did I buy it at 24? Yeah, I bought it at 24. I want to sell it higher than 24. That's all. I don't care about this right here unless I plan on holding it overnight. I don't. So then this is the one that's going to move a lot. And also, I don't like to buy contracts. I don't like to buy contracts that have a really, really, really low price. Like if this was like, instead of 24, it was like 9 or 7 or something like that. And I told you, you've been rocking me for a long time. You already know. Because I can't put incremental stop losses on it. How do you put a 10% stop loss on something that costs you 7, right? How that gonna work? Nah, but if it was 7D, oh, you could do it. So I like to buy contracts, let's call it, with the price of the contract being between maybe like 20 and like 70, right? Like 20 and like 70. But you could vary from that a little bit, but that's where I think a sweet spot is. All right. So family, look, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And again, I see all the ones rolling in. I see you in the next one. Oh my gosh, she's running. Hold up. Let's see her. 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 Oh, girl, you looking good. You do see some sellers right here. You can see them. Remember, always look for your wicks. You do see them, but they are there, but we see them. She pumping, baby. She's pumping. I gotta say this too, right? I know I keep saying, you said I'm a great teacher. Though, family, I appreciate that. I want to appreciate y'all. I never been good with taking on any kind of good feedback. That was always been tough for me. People tell you, yo, Keenan, you the GOAT. Yo, Keenan, you're a good teacher, all this. Like, I really want to let you know, I never want to invalidate you, and I appreciate you. But I never really been good at taking this type of, like, just, you know what I'm saying, hearing it. And I know that a lot of people won't trade live and won't show you how to do it because they so afraid that if they get into a call right here and then it drops, they don't know what to do. They freeze up and they think, oh man, I blew it. You know what I'm saying? I blew it. Everybody about to leave, right? No, understand the game. That's how I go. So I want to tell you, I appreciate everything. I love y'all, and I love making money with the family. And I love showing you how, even when it's a tough day, not every day is like this, but even when it's a tough, kind of choppy day, the possibility to make money is always there. There's a bull market everywhere. You got to identify the level of risk that you are taking. I took this one, which is the very high risk, and you seen how I went left immediately, but I didn't panic. Why? Because I erased it. I only put in 1/5 of the options money that I was willing to trade, right? So family, I see y'all. I love y'all, and I'll catch you in the next one. Hold up. I love y'all. Take care. I had to do it, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not reversed anymore, so you can read my shirt again. And I got it. We all good, family. We all good. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. If you got any questions, at me in the Discord. If you got any questions about options, at me in the chat that says class questions. And I'll see you over there. See you in the next one.